Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and Happy New Year! Happy 2019 from me here at Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling, and welcome to the start of Series 3 of Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling. Now, I was personally debating about the fact of if I was going to continue Series 2, even though I'd only done about 16 episodes on that series, but I decided, you know what, let's just continue on with Series 3 of this podcast. Series 3, 2019, new year, same wacky, basically. It's a series free overview. Note, I'm probably going to have to change the title of the video. I have it as season free. I need to change that to series free. Anyway, for those of you who are new or are returning to the podcast, welcome to the wackiest world of professional wrestling that you'll ever find on this here corner of YouTube. Yes, YouTube. I should note here, and I should say a couple things in this particular instance, that there's been a lot of changes in the wrestling podcast world in my neck of the woods, so I'm going to start talking a little bit about that. To start off with, no, I'm not moving to Twitch at this point in time. I'm going to be staying on YouTube, as doing YouTube recordings is relatively simple and easy for me to do at this point, and that's where the most of my experience comes into play. I don't really have a lot of experience doing setup work on Twitch, and while I do watch Twitch streams on occasion. I'm currently at this point just kind of happy to stay where I am at this point. Series 2 was by far the most experimental series of Wacky World that I've done in quite some time. It actually harkened back more so to the old school episodes that I did in 2013 and 14, when I was just starting out as a podcaster of wrestling. Oh, yes, I'm one of those irrelevant wrestling podcasters. How wonderful is that, isn't it? But in all seriousness, 2018 was definitely a year was definitely a year in which I had to do a lot of changes. A lot of stuff that usually in most situations I ended up doing relatively interesting. At least I think. I started doing solo podcasting from episode 43 onward. And I really was very comfortable with that and found a certain sense of happiness in being able to talk to you, the audience that happens to wander into my chat room on occasion, on the right side of the screen here, the top chat room. Uh, and basically, this podcast here. First and foremost, obviously, want to thank all you folks for sticking around while I do all of this shuffling of the deck chairs and moving furniture around and making things wholesale changes and differences to Wacky World of Wrestling. Um, it's been a very interesting year. It's been an up and down year, 2018 was, and I did 16 episodes, and I feel really proud of myself for doing that. I did also do some collaboration work. I did some podcasting on Shooting the Breeze occasionally, just to help out a couple of folks because, they either tired or dealing with stress or whatnot. And I stepped in and helped people out there. I also covered local wrestling this year, which I was very proud to do. I covered 5 pro wrestling events this year in my regional area, Southern Tier Wrestling, and my goodness, the cards just blew me away every single time because I'm like, traditional wrestling, comedy wrestling, all these other different kinds of wrestling. Oh, this is awesome. This is cool. It was a nice little oasis and a little break from the chaos that was the pro wrestling world in 2018. And also, a lot of changes. The summer was an era of change, and it was good change, I feel. Like I said, I started doing solo podcasting in the middle of the summer with episode 43. And then basically I just continued on and had a very solid year overall for Wacky World of Wrestling. I know the numbers don't really show anything about that, but I feel like I myself had a very solid year as far as podcasting was concerned, even though I did take a step back. I rested, I healed, I put my health first and decided, you know what? I'm not going to stress out about things. I'm just going to go and do stuff. And that's exactly what I did in this situation. I just did things. I did all sorts of things, which was all really cool. Went to local wrestling shows, as I said. And so, what's exactly going to happen with Series 3? Well, I'm going to be covering local wrestling shows once again. I'm going to be covering WWE. I'm going to be covering the Indies, and I'm going to be covering the wacky world of professional wrestling, as always has been the mission statement of this show. The mission statement's always been covering the wackiest world of professional wrestling from around the world. Spanning continents and territories and feuds and personal infighting. Wacky world of wrestling. Well, this is not going to be a particularly long edition of the podcast. It's only going to probably be about 10 to 20 minutes long compared to the other podcasts I've got planned. And oh, do I have podcasts planned this year? In fact, this Wrestling World season 2018 was a very venerable gold mine of all sorts of content and questions that are now to be answered, like the New Year's Eve day drop of a new wrestling promotion. We'll get to that one, or I'll get to that one as we get into the next episode or so. There's also been a lot of fundamental changes in the world of professional wrestling that I'm going to be covering, such as, well, the Americans have invaded the Brits. And, well, it's going to be definitely a flying circus at this point. So, overall, I'd like to thank all you folks for sticking around and tuning into Wacky World of Wrestling, whether it be for 5 seconds or a minute, whether it be for whether you've been a long-time listener or you've been somebody who's been listening to the show since day one. I'd like to thank you all for once again tuning in to this Wacky World of Professional Wrestling, and I've greatly enjoyed doing the covering. I've greatly enjoyed doing covering of these particular shows. Wrestling podcasting is something I like to do for fun, and I got the and over the last few years, I've had a lot of great fun moments. And 2019 is starting off on the right foot with this podcast. And I am seeing a bit of an issue with the lag on the line. I'm not sure if that's necessarily due to my microphone or due to the connection or anything like that. But this is also a great way for me to test out this mic because I have done some wholesale house cleaning on this to the ports on my PC at this point. So I'm going to check those out. New Year, same wacky world of wrestling. I know it's not really earth shattering, but I do have some new things planned. In fact, you're probably going to be seeing a couple of those new things over the next few hours because, well, this is just a series free overview. I had a good year this year. It was a year that I had to deal with a lot of different stuff, and a lot of different things happened in the world of professional wrestling. But overall, I feel very happy about it. I got a new microphone, this Santium P85 unit that has turned out to be a complete and utter wonder talking on a headset. And, well, I guess I have no idea what the future holds for 2019. I'm keeping basically an open mind. I don't want, like, the whole thing, I hope you have a good year, or I hope you have this or that other thing. I don't really hope for anything right now at this point. It's up in the air. I'm just going to keep my expectations modest at this point, and we'll see how things go. Like I said, I'm not moving to Twitch. I'm staying here on YouTube at this point. I see no reason to change that at this point in time. I'm not going to be moving an entire set of furniture just to turn some deck chairs around or something like that. Um, as far as collaborative podcasting goes, I think I'm probably going to be putting a bit of a rain check on that. Originally, I had planned on taking a break from collaborative podcasting in July, but I got into two more let me think, shooting the breeze episodes, two more shooting the breeze episodes, and as I said, the episodes, those episodes were really fun to do. I'm glad to help out them, but they're doing their own thing right now. And at this point in time, they're doing their own thing. And what I've always been very constructive about with the people that I've mentored in the past about podcasting is I love them that they do their own thing. If you want to bring me on board, I will ask and I will say to you that, hey, I am available. If you need me for an episode, I might come in. But I also took a rain check on that in 2018 because I wanted to let other people get their voices in and voices heard, and I was also busy trying to heal, make myself feel better, and overall, I feel like I've done a good job with that so far. And like I said, it's a New Year's start. Let's start off the new year with a fresh retrospective or so. I had a good wrestling year in 2018. I got to have a lot of fun moments. I got to go to a lot of wrestling shows. I went to 5 wrestling shows last year. That was something I did not anticipate that was gonna happen or anything like that. I met a ton of wrestlers, bought some merch, took photographs of the shows, and it's just like, wow. You never know when your life what direction your life's gonna be in until you actually go in that direction and you go, "Wow, didn't expect this at all." Like I said, thank you all for tuning in once again for Wacky World of Wrestling, and welcome to Series 3. We're gonna have ourselves some fun here on this show. And we're gonna start things off with maybe one or two different kinds of shows. But like I said, the next podcast is gonna be probably coming in about an hour or two after this one. And like I said, thank you so much for tuning in. But this is just basically a placeholder disc for for the playlist for season 3 or series 3. And well, I hope you folks have a good day or night, and I'll be seeing you relatively soon, in fact, because we're gonna start this New Year's Eve and day off with a marathon of Wacky World of Wrestling. That is. Um, have a good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for once again the support of the show that you've done over the last several years. And like I said, be seeing you relatively soon. Bye, folks.